thought, so the players are coming off the field. Zoe and Beetle are down there for training camp, and they get the interviews. And I was just getting in my car, and I was like, I didn't notice who it was initially, but when I realized, I was like, oh, he's talkative, he's bright, it's good. I'm like, this is Kendrick Bourne. And it was Kendrick Bourne. And then Beetle was asking, like, hey, bit of a log jam in the room, right? Like, you feel confident considering your rapport in the past with Josh McDaniels. And that's when, to me, the interview really started getting interesting, because it's clear that, yeah, there's a logjam in that room, and there's some young players there and guys that are certainly on the bubble, maybe like Javon Baker. And I like Kendrick Bourne, but I think he's regressed, or certainly hasn't been the same guy post-injury. But I feel like he's a lock for this team because he already knows Josh's system. Like, and maybe we'll play some of the clips, or you can go back and find it on the app. Listen to the interview on Zoe and Beetle and on the 98.5 Sports Hub app. But I thought it was very telling. Like, Kendrick and Josh McDaniels are thick as thieves. And, okay, while it's great, I want guys that know his system, but if he's not the same player and he's lost a step, is that really the right way to go about it, especially if someone like this Efton Chisholm, who might be a bubble guy, might not end up making the team, but Kendrick Bourne does just because, well, he knows the boss and the boss likes him and it's his system, and, well, we're good. We don't really need to see how how you're running. If you maybe lost a little step, or you're not as fast as you used to be, or maybe you still, maybe your hands have turned to stone, doesn't matter. You know my system, so you're a lock for the team. I listened to this today, and I was a little bit, just a little, unnerved, and it's like, oh, he's already made the team. Kendrick Bourne doesn't have to worry about anything. He knows Josh McDaniels' system. He's good to go. And I just don't know, considering this team, if that's the right thing. Like, I want guys that have talent, and I don't want someone that might not end up making the team just because they're like a bubble guy, just because they're not friends with the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Mazz, you have an opening thought?
Well, yeah, so this relates to the same interview. And let me just preface this by saying I admit that I'm behind the curve on this. Okay, I am slow to adapt to this particular thing, which is the offense that they're running. I wanted to believe, and still want to believe, that they are going to incorporate some new age things into their offense. And yet Kendrick Bourne sat there today with Zolak and Bertrand and says, oh, no, this is the same system we ran when Josh McDaniels was here last time. And that bothered the hell out of me. And again, I admit, because you've said this, they're running the same offense.
Yeah, feels that way.
And I thought, okay, I want to see what it looks like on the field, because they said they changed some of the terminology. They're going to incorporate some other things. And it doesn't sound like they are. And so if they are asking Drake Maye to run the offense that Tom Brady ran, I just think that's a horrible fit. Horrible. I think they're completely different players. And first of all, nobody compares to Tom Brady. Nobody ever. So I want to, this now gives me some trepidation about how the whole adjustment or evolution is going to go with Drake Maye even further. I just think they couldn't make it work with guys who came in who were veterans when Brady was here. And Brady, frankly, might be the only quarterback that really was able to make it work for any sort of extended period of time. That's it. Nobody other than Tom Brady ever really did it. So this is something that now I feel like I have to watch for that I was hoping I didn't have to watch for.
Big time. Absolutely. And it's a tough offense to pick up, as you
Holy
mentioned.
crap. Like, when I heard Bourne say it as definitively said it, I said, well, really? Like, there isn't any tweak at all?
Here, Jimmy, are you able to play that first Bourne cut just to illustrate what Mazz is talking about?
I mean, I was shaken.
My last one for you real quick.
Yes,
is it the same protection, same formation, same play call that Josh?
Yeah, same. Yep, same system.
Okay,
So it's for the young guys learning, and then guys that are experienced with it, it's the same. But just for us guys that have experience, helping the young guys, if we all can get on the same page, have the same communication, the same language, we're gonna have a good year.
I mean, so now Kendrick Bourne is way ahead of everybody else on the receiving corps.
Kind of scary.
Like, no, but I heard that, and that's because this sort of spins off what you were saying, Murray. Like, wait a minute, I wasn't even sure he was going to make the team.
That's how I felt, too. And now, again, after hearing that today, and I like Bourne, but again, this Efton Chisholm, who was popping at the OTAs, maybe he ends up being a bubble guy, and they're like, well, we like how we look, but he might not be picking up the system that well, so we're just going to go with Kendrick instead. Like, no matter what, to me, after hearing this, I'm like, this dude's already made the team. He doesn't even really have to show up for these practices.
Oh, like, I hope that this is just, like, early step one and that Bourne is wrong. But man, if that's the case, now
Well, to
I'm
your
wor-
point, like, wouldn't you have expected Josh McDaniels, after everything he's been through, and now coming in here with a rookie, like a second-year quarterback, first time working with him, a lot of new players, dumb it down, dude. Like, didn't you learn to maybe dumb down your system a bit?
Exactly. Make it simple. So they're going to try to teach him what Tom Brady knew? And I understand it's year 2 for May, but year 1 in this offense. Big mistake. Murray thinks the guy's a dope.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Oh, stop it, Murray. You know you feel that way.
I don't. I said the jury's out.
The jury's out on whether he's a dope or not.
That's all.
So he could potentially be a dope.
Yes.
Yes. Which kind of ties into my opening take, which is we are very let me back up. I know you, as Patriots fans, some of y'all, and certainly some of y'all media watchers and people who are dubious of the traditional media, don't like lazy narratives. You sort of like
that's a lazy narrative.
You like to call out lazy narratives, which, to me, really just in my experience doing this 35 years, really just translates to you not liking negative commentary about your team, because I've never heard you call positive commentary lazy. It's always negative commentary that gets labeled lazy narratives. The positive commentary never gets labeled lazy narratives. But if you are concerned about lazy narratives, just on the face of it, lazy narratives, I think what's happened in the last day or two with Drake Maye and his leadership qualifies as a lazy narrative. I just feel the media, certainly, that cover the team and commentate on the team have just really been way too quick to just take that story of him organizing the throwing thing in North Carolina, and he did 95. Vrabel comes out and says he came to me with that a while ago. He organized 95% of it, travel, where they stay, all the arrangements. That just feels so convenient and, I don't know,
contrived.
And I think it's kind of lazy just to take it and run with it as if, oh, yeah, that happened. And I think that's lazy. But not that anyone cares, because it makes you feel good, right? I mean, so the Drake Maye becoming that leader, that guy in year 2, is something you should be hearing, you want to hear. So you hear it, and you don't question it. And reporters today, this is not what we do. We don't try and find out what's really going on. We just sort of mine things that make the fans feel good. And so we just take this story from Mike Vrabel and, oh, yeah, he arranged it. 95% of it. He came to Vrabel. It was his idea. Never mind the 95% thing, was just, he has a little bit of a whiff of something. You know what I mean? Like, why are we parsing out the percentages? And I don't even know what it would be. But it's just a little convenient. It feels just a little lazy to me that you're just going to take, because it's such an obvious thing. You want to hear it. And he was throwing with the guys in the offseason. So you all just take it. You don't bother questioning. Just run with it. And there he is, year 2 leadership. Yeah, look at the leadership. More vocal. And without ever really questioning where it came from, is that truly on the level? I mean, I would think, if I had to guess, that this is something that they're leading Drake Maye to, which isn't a bad thing. He's a young guy. Young for his draft class, young for the league, learning a lot of different things, and this is going to be one of them. They have to lead him to be a leader, which doesn't make him a bad guy or a bad leader or any of that. It makes him young. And I feel like that's what's, if you ask me, they're sort of guiding him towards that. And he's taking it, and there's no reason for me to believe that's not who he is. Could very well be that guy. But it's just a little lazy. And I know you out there don't like lazy narratives. It just feels a little lazy to me. Just a lock, stock, and barrel. I mean, I watch our network here, NBC Sports Boston Early Edition. It's like, they haven't just taken and run with it. They've already taken off the runway and are 20,000 feet in the air. I mean, this little segment that I heard last night on Early Edition.
Drake's not just leading himself, but he's leading not just the offense, but the group, like the overall squad. And when he does things like that, what does that say not only about his maturity, but his intention to really turn this thing around this season?
He's got a comprehensive idea of who he wants to be and how he wants to do it. I mean, we saw Brady do this up in Idaho or Montana, wherever the hell it was out there, that he would get guys together. We see it happen all throughout the NFL, and it's important because these guys, in a couple of years, he's going to be conceivably a $60 million a year quarterback. So if you say, wow, look at him working in early July, okay, you're making $60 million a year. It's a good thing to do to make sure that you're in a position to have yourself at ready to go at the beginning of the year. So to me, I don't think it's unbelievably remarkable, but the one thing about him that we mentioned a ton last year and we can continue to look back at, he's pretty authentic. He does things without, hey, how is everybody going to react to this? Or wears it on his sleeve. I just think that he's a great fit.
Okay. The comprehensive idea of who he is and what he wants to be. Is he 22?
Yeah, how could he?
Like, that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty strong. That would make him pretty special.
Yeah.
I think if that's the case, I would expect as a 22-year-old second-year player coming into this situation from the ground up that he's finding who he is.
Right.
And finding his leadership, and the team's helping him get there.
And I think that is what is happening.
But I think everyone, because they're so desperate for him to be the guy and the team to be right, that they've just immediately gone past that step.
No, they've knighted him.
Of him developing and learning who he is and growing into who he is and gone right to, it's just like Brady taking the guys to Montana. And he came to me with this idea a long time ago, and in 95% of the travel and the arrangements, and we all just take it. And I just find that a little lazy. And I know you people don't like lazy narratives. So I'm with you. I agree with you. I don't like lazy narratives either. I think the Drake Maye leadership thing gone from zero to lazy pretty quick. We have a show to do today, and I like the look of them too. But I think there's some leaps being taken here.
The 95% thing, really, it was
it's kind of a red flag.
Oh my gosh, big time.
Why are we parsing out? Because you know why? Because it's not true, and so they have to leave themselves some wiggle room. I mean, Drake Maye may have handled 5% of it, and Josh McDaniels and the team may have handled 95% of it. But when you start going percentages, there's a lot of it was mostly him, but some us. Well, okay. Maybe that's closer to 70-30. Well, okay, 64. You get to play around with that a little bit.
Yeah, and my question is, that 5%, did that include coming up with the actual idea? Because that's what I think. I think they told them this is what you're going to do, and you're going to make the calls. You're going to set up. We'll get someone to help you, but you're going to lead it. But the idea did not come from him. I think it came from McDaniels.
So this he bolted last year without speaking for himself or the team. They had to trade the backup quarterback because they had to clear the runway because Drake didn't like something about Joe Milton, the way he carried himself or being in there, or, who knows exactly, but something along those lines. So there's other sides to this story. Just to jump right to the end of he's here. He's arrived as the leader. So again, I just in the interest of I know you folks don't like lazy narratives, so I'm just helping you out there.